Hey everyone, it's Brandon, and seeing as how I spend a very obsessive amount of time talking about all sorts of things related to guitar tunings, whether that be weird and unusual guitar tunings or just really conventional guitar tunings, I want to take some time to talk about one of the biggest overall concepts that not just myself, but plenty of other musicians approach when looking at stringed instrument tunings, and that is called scientific pitch notation. This is where you take all the notes in primarily Western music, that is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and also the flats and sharps of those notes, depending on how you look at it, where those are applicable, and you assign a number to each note relative to its octave in increasing order of pitch. And on the picture of this bass and treble music staff that you can see above my head, you can see this increasing order. This is also done with every C note, so that's to say with every octave of C, you increase the octave number that you are in. And if you know the basics of reading sheet music in general, there is what is called the middle C note, which is the C note that occupies the space as it's notated in treble and bass clef between the treble and bass clef. That note in its scientific pitch notation is a C4 note. And more specific to piano, a full-size piano keyboard is going to have 88 keys in total, which the lowest note is typically going to be the A0 note, really down low. And then at the highest end of playing piano, you'll have the C8 note. And in the grand scheme of things, if we look at the octaves between C0 and C8, this also pretty much covers the extent of what human hearing on average is capable of actually deducing as musical sound. But theoretically, there are ways to go below the lowest of lows that human hearing can pick up and also past the highest of highs. To end this video, I want to go into a major gripe I have with this concept relative to how it works in like guitar and bass guitar tunings. All the history and science aside of how we got here, typically if we're talking about six-string guitars as we commonly know it, usually we differentiate tunings on this kind of instrument by the lowest note. So for example, say we have a guitar in E standard tuning. We're calling it E standard tuning based on whatever the lowest note is tuned to. And so with E standard tuning, you naturally have E, A, D, G, B, E. And the thing that I find really personally annoying about this is please stop calling E standard tuning standard tuning. I really don't think it's accurate, and the best way to say that E standard is just simply standard tuning. Personally, in my perfect world, I think the best way to refer to this would be E2 standard tuning on six-string guitar. And then of course with like rock and metal, you tune the guitar lower, so you could have things like D2 standard tuning on six-string guitar, C2 standard tuning on six-string guitar, which is the best one by the way. Honestly, and ultimately, you know what? I don't know. Have I just gone off the deep end with getting too far invested into this subject? I'd love to know if you comment below.